The Maelstrom Hunter by Crimson QB Sage, Chapter 11 of Shinobi and Safe Houses, with Roshi, Han, and Fu. Roshi, Han, and Fu leapt from the tree branch they were currently on as they continued forward with their journey. When they had first arrived in Remnant, the thought of people being sent to retrieve them had crossed their minds over 4 years ago. The three Jinjurgi had agreed that should their current location be found by Iwa, Taki, or any other shinobis, that they would go into hiding. And during their first year in Remnant, they had set up or commandeered certain locations and buildings that they had designated to be safe houses, with their closest safe house being 500 kilometers south by southeast of Beacon Academy. The three continued on their path towards a safe house Foxtrot, being careful to avoid the nearby Grim as they jumped from branch to branch with Naruto's retrieval team. The 11 Konoha shinobi leapt from tree branch to tree branch, following the very faint chakra trail that Naruto had left, heading northeast, following Neji, Hinata, Shino, and Kiba, those four being the only ones able to pick up on Naruto's trail. How much farther? Choji asked. About 300, Neji started before his eyes widened. What is it? Tenten asked, noticing Neji's startled revelation. There are 3 large chakra signatures headed our way, Neji exclaimed. I'm also sensing secondary chakra signatures alongside those 3, Hinata stated. Jinchuriki, out here? Yamato questioned. It could be possible, Sai said. Then again, it may not, but we should prepare for the worst. Sai is right, Yamato agreed. It is likely that we will cross paths with whoever these people are, so it is best that we prepare for anything. Getting nods of agreement, the 11 members began to prepare themselves for this inevitable encounter. With Roshi, Han, and Fu, the 3 continued their journey to Safe House Foxtrot, focusing mainly on the trail ahead of them. Niju, Koruto, Yochu, Son Goku, Kokuo, and Chomei exclaimed, catching the attention of their host. What is it, son? Kokuo, Lucky 7, Roshi, Han, and Fu asked individually. This group of 11 chakra signatures headed this way, the 3 Biju exclaimed. About 8 kilometers to your right. Guys, Roshi said. I know, the 2 other Jinchuriki said in unison, all 3 preparing to fight. Roshi pulled one of his gun knife hybrids out of its holster. Han grabbed his war axe shotgun off his back, and Fu pulled out both of her Tonfa submachine guns in their Tonfan form and manifested her 6 insect wings and tail. With Naruto retrieval team, the members of the Naruto retrieval team, according to their 4 trackers, were coming closer and closer to the 3 chakra signatures. 48, 44, Neji mumbled, continuing in his countdown for about 5 more minutes. 10, 7, 4, 2. Finishing his countdown, the 11 Konoha shinobi stumbled across 3 individuals, all 3 having some unique animal-like trait. Roshi, Han, and Fu analyzing the 11 shinobi in front of them, the Konoha shinobi doing the same to the 3 Jinchuriki. Konoha shinobi? Han questioned quietly, only loud enough for the 2 people next to him to hear, having recognizing the leaf-like symbol on their headbands. They're probably after Naruto, Fu softly replied. Who are you guys? Kiba asked out loudly. Refugees, who are you guys? Roshi replied. We're. Kiba started only to be hit over the head, hit over the side of his head by his Hyuga teammate. Looking back to Hinata, he noticed that she had a look in her eyes that said, "Shut up right now." We're searching for a friend of ours, Shikamaru said. His name is Naruto. Do you by any chance know him? Finishing his question, Shikamaru noticed how the 3 of them tensed up slightly, the mint green-haired girl slightly more so than the other 2. No, we haven't, Roshi replied quickly, causing Shikamaru's eyes to narrow. You're lying, he pointed out, performing the necessary hand signs for the Kage-main no Jutsu. Now, Ino, Shikamaru called out, having caught the 3 faunus in his jutsu. Nodding in response to Shikamaru, the blonde did the hand signs for the Shintenchi no Jutsu. Finishing the last hand sign, the blonde Jinchuriki slumped over as the jutsu transferred her into Fu. Searching through the mint green-haired girl's consciousness, Ino began searching her memories for anything related to Naruto. Flashback start. Emerald Forest. Yo! A voice behind Fu yelled. Turning around, she saw a blonde-haired teen with 3 whisker marks, 4 fox ears, and a tail waving lazily at her. Hey, aren't you the guy who had the motion sickness? Fu questioned, making the blonde fox faun's face fall. At least I didn't throw up, the blonde fox faun countered. So, the blonde started attempting to change the subject. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Nice to meet you. And she said, I'm Fu. Likewise. Flashback end. Before Ino could continue searching through Fu's memories, she felt a presence pushing her out of the girl's mind. Before she was fully pushed out of Fu's mind, she saw a giant beetle with 6 wings and a tail. Sorry, but there is no vacancy at this time, the beetle cried out, kicking Ino out of Fu's mind. Having returned to her body, Ino let out a gasp as the information set in. Naruto's here, Ino exclaimed. I wasn't able to get a location though. The 10 other members' expressions became a mixture of surprise and of victory. Momentarily distracted, the three Jinchuriki sent out a pulse of demonic chakra, breaking the Kagemi no Jutsu, forming 4 hand signs. Roshi took a sharp breath. Yoton Shakugarigan no Jutsu, Roshi cried out, expelling large globs of lava that rapidly solidified into large projectiles. Yamato performed the rat, dog, and tiger hand signs in that order in response. Mukutan Mukuyo Heki, he cried out as wooden pillars sprouted from the ground to form a dome-shaped shield, just in time to block the clouds of lava that were shot at them. As the wooden pillars sank back into the ground, the Konoha shinobi noticed the retreating forms of Roshi, Han, and Fu. The 11 shinobi left after the 3 in pursuit, seeing as those 3 were their most recent lead on Naruto. Following the 3 to a nearby clearing, the Konoha shinobi noticed that they stopped in the middle of the clearing. Well, Roshi started his back along with Han and Fu's turn to the Konoha shinobi. This is where we part ways. Have fun with the Beowulfs. And with that, the 3 Jinchuriki jumped away. The Konoha shinobi were about to pursue, but an animal-like growl was heard from behind them. Turning around, the 11 shinobi noticed the 4 large, menacing wolf-like creatures looming over them. Dodging the swipe of one of the creature's claws, the 11 members of the Naruto retrieval team scattered as to avoid the incoming attacks. Hake Kusho, Hinata and Neji cried out, sending bursts of air and at the large grim, barely making a scratch on the surface of their fur, causing the 2 Hyuga clan members to have their eyes widened in shock. Yamato used his Mokutan to restrain 2 of the grim. Choji used his clan's jutsu expanding his hand and swipe away the 3rd Beowulf, and Sai sent his ink animals to assist Neji and Hinata. We have to retreat, Shikamaru yelled. What? But Kiba started. Kiba, a tactical retreat seems to be the most logical decision right now, Shino interrupted. Fine, Kiba finally conceded. With everyone in agreement, the 11 shinobi leapt into the trees to evade the Beowulfs. Mount Miyaboku. Naruto was in a meditative pose, his face slightly scrunched together as he concentrated on his senjutsu training. Currently, his training was going along smoothly, having only nearly transformed into a toad statue on at least 17 different occasions. Following Paul's instructions, Naruto soon felt the natural energy around him and attempted to pull this energy into his own body. His features began to morph into more toad-like features as his face scrunched up more. Whack! Was the resonating sound of Pa's cane hitting Naruto's skull, causing the blonde fox funnies to fall over. Ow! Naruto complained as he rubbed his comically bruised head. You're doing it wrong. You can't force it into your body, Pa exclaimed. All right, jeez, Naruto said, resuming the task at hand. Returning to his meditative stance, instead of tensing up and trying to force the surrounding energy in, he let his body relax. He began to feel the natural energy flow into his body as he felt relaxed and at peace. Whack! Again, the sound of Pa's cane comically hitting Naruto upside his head resonated throughout the land. Ow! Naruto exclaimed once more. You can't lose focus lest you want to be a toad statue, Pa yelled. That's enough for now, Ma exclaimed, hopping towards Pa and Naruto. Lunch is ready. That statement caused Naruto to pale slightly at the mention of Ma's cooking, which consisted of various bugs, both dead and alive. At the outskirts of Amigakure, Jiraiya was sneaking through the urban terrain as rain poured non-stop, occasionally having to hide or conceal himself from random Ame shinobi patrols. Along the way, he had encountered 2 Ame shinobi, one of which had been sent to Konoha to have a nice and friendly chat with Ibiki Mirino, whilst the other he had used as a guide through Amigakure. Up until a few minutes ago, his guide unwilling and unable to proceed any further. Continuing down the long corridor, Jiraiya momentarily stopped walking. Paper began to fly around him, circling the area in front of him as the small pieces of paper began to connect, forming a body-like shape. The connected paper soon began to have color on it, taking the form of a woman with short blue hair, amber eyes, lavender eyeshadow, a libret piercing. A large light blue paper flower was worn in her hair, and the stoic expression was placed on her face. The bottom half of her body was still paper, while the top half had the Akatsuki cloak. Hello, Sensei, the woman said, her expression remaining neutral. Conan, Jiraiya said, shock evident in his voice. Omake, Tenten in Weaponland. Naruto retrieval team had tracked Naruto's trail, leading them to the urban terrain that by far surpassed that of Amigakure. The group decided to split up into their teams, Sai and Yamato forming their own team. The sun had set about on an hour ago, and the annual Veil Weapons Convention had lit up the street with various weapons and weapon enthusiasts. Following Team Guy, Lee, Neji, and Tenten all walked down the city streets until insert instrumental to What's This? Tenten's eyes widened as the author appeared before Team Guy. Chosa Ririsu Miyuji Karuna Nabate Kuniku. A crimson sage QB cried out as a violet ball of light was shot at Tenten. With a grin and a wink, the author disappeared as various hunters with no definite facial features appeared and pretending to mingle appeared. What's this? What's this? There's weapons everywhere. What's this? There's lead things in the air. What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Ten. This isn't fair. What's this? Neji and Lee could only watch with a comical expression of shock as the weapons mistress of their team started spontaneously breaking into a musical number as she leapt around the large crowd of hunters and huntresses, ignored her antics, and seemingly unaware of the girl. What's this? What's this? There's something very wrong. What's this? As people walk along. What's this? The streets are lined with different weapons. Everybody seems so happy. Have I possibly gone daft? What's this? What's this? At this point, Neji facepalmed and Lee could only watch in silence as their most sane team member was prancing around singing a parody song. There's children throwing explosive balls instead of smoke petals. They're busy with their weapons, but absolutely no one's dead. There's dust on every window. Oh, I can't believe my eyes, and I can't help but feel the thrilling chills at the sight. At this point, the music had slowed down slightly, and Tenten examined a random hunter's machine gun sword hybrid, but then the music went back to its original tempo. Oh, look, what's this? This one has a tanto. That's sweet. Why does that look so unique? Inspired. They're gathering around to hear a story about their many strange tales. What's this? In the spur of spontaneous musical number, Teden had managed to leap around 5 blocks. Hey Lee, Neji, exclaimed as the rest of Team Asuma followed behind her. What's going on? What's gotten into Tenten? Choji asked, being the first of Team Asuma to notice Tenten's antics. Don't ask, Neji groaned out. Soon enough, Tenten was found outside one of the many dust shops. What's this? In here, there's magazines and dust. How weird. And who would ever think? And why? They're selling it with tiny little vials. They've all got happy little smiles. And there's a weapon on each person. So now, correct me if I'm wrong. This looks like fun. This looks like fun. Oh, could it be I'm having fun? What's this? Without using chakra, Tenten, in a feat of parkour skill, was able to get up to the second floor and hang out outside a child's window. Oh my, what now? The children are asleep. But look, there's nothing underneath. No knives, no kunai, here to block and defend, or slash or kill. Only little cozy things. Secure inside the dreamland. The music slowed down once more, causing Neji, Lee, and Timasuma to sigh in relief, hoping it was finished. What's this? Apparently it wasn't finished, causing the remaining members of Team Guy and Timasuma to face fault. The shinobi are all missing, yet there's weapons all around, and in their place there seems to be good feelings all around. Instead of silence, I swear, I can hear music in the air. The smell of smoke and leads are absolutely everywhere. The music's tempo began to slow down. Neji, Lee, and Temasuma holding their breaths in anticipation as they hoped that the song was finished, only to exhale loudly as the song continued. The sights, the sounds, they're everywhere and all around. I've never felt so good before. This happy feeling inside of me is filling up. I simply cannot get enough. I want it. Oh, I want it. Oh, I want it for my own. I've got to know. What's this place that I found? What's this? What is this? 87th Annual Veil Weapons Convention. Tenten murmured, seeing the words "Welcome to the 87th Annual Veil Weapons Convention" plastered on a banner that hung above the street she was on. Song end. Rapidly blinking, Tenten fell out of her daze and started looking around. What the heck happened? Tenten asked out loud. You don't want to know, Neji groaned out. End of chapter 11.